floral. Wine 3 has intense florality. Wine 4 has oak for sure and pyrazines. Wine 5 has rotundone and ripe fruit. And wine 6 is really ripe, also has rotundone and new oak. Can't get involved in that too soon. Okay. All right, that's gonna fuck me up. Wine 2 is mineral driven, potential mallow, very clean. I'm not gonna get into that yet. And then wine 1 is moderately floral. Okay. Let me do phenolic bitterness on wine 1 first. Okay. Wine 1 has slight phenolic bitterness. Wine 2 has reduction and evidence of lees aging and malolactic, maybe. And wine 3 is overtly floral. Wine 4 has pyrazines and oak and it is very ripe. Wine 5 is very difficult. And wine 6 has rotundone and new oak. All right. All right, wine number 3 is a moderate concentration of straw with brilliant reflections, secondaries of silver. Tearing is moderate, plus there's no gas evidence or sediment. On the nose, the wine is clean with a powerful intensity, and it's youthful. Citrus, orchard, stone, and tropical fruit. Meyer lemon, tangerine, ripe red apple, peach, and mango. There is honeysuckle, jasmine, and elderflower, and a bit of rose petal as well. This wine is overtly floral. There's a moderate intensity of a stony minerality, no evidence of oak, no evidence of lees aging, and there's a bit of snap pea and celery root on the palate. The wine is dry, acidity is medium plus, alcohol is moderate, body is moderate, texture is oily. Confirming on the palate, wine gets more tart on the palate, lemon pith, grapefruit zest, green apple, underripe white peach, and mango skin. There's phenolic bitterness on this wine as well. Lemon blossoms, jasmine, honeysuckle, rose petal. High intensity of a stony minerality on the palate. No evidence of oak with snap pea and celery root. Wine is in balance. Length is medium plus, complexity is moderate plus. Initial inclusion, possible grape varieties are Torrontes, Muscat, and Gewürztraminer. or I should say Muscat-based wines and Gewürztraminer. I think this wine's coming from a moderate climate. Possible countries are Argentina and France. Age range is 1 to 3 years. Final conclusion, wine number 3 is a Muscat Blanc à Petit Grand blended with Muscat Hautenel from France, from Alsace, from the Haute Rhine, Vin d'Alsace, AOP, vintage 2024. My original thought on this wine was, not sure. I can knock out one of these. Pretty sure I know where I'm going with those. I'd like to get one of these though. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I tasted that for phenolic bitterness. Moderate plus fruit. Okay. And then we'll get to this later at the very end, I think. All right, wine number 1. Wine number 1 is a moderate straw. Clear with secondaries of green. Tearing is moderate. There is no gas evidence or sediment. The nose is clean with a moderate plus intensity, and it's youthful. Fruit on the nose, driven by peach, nectarine, but then there's some ripe lemon, Meyer lemon, grapefruit, and yellow apple. There's laurels and honeysuckle. It's a moderately floral wine, high intensity of a saline minerality with a touch of bread dough and cheese rind indicating lees aging, but no evidence of oak. On the palate, wine is dry, acidity is high, alcohol is moderate, body is moderate, texture is linear, confirming on the, and there's phenolic bitterness, confirming on the palate. Fresh lemons, Meyer lemon zest, green apple, peach, and fresh nectarine. Laurels, honeysuckle, saline minerality, bread dough, and cheese rind indicating lees aging. No evidence of oak. Wine is in balance. Length is moderate. Complexity is moderate plus. Initial conclusion, possible grape varieties are Alvarinho, Gruner Veltliner, and Pinot Grigio. I think this wine is coming from a cool climate. Possible countries are Austria, Italy, and Spain. Age range is 1 to 3 years. Final conclusion, wine number 1, because of the overt floral notes and driven by peach nectarine with higher acidity, comparative to the other 2 varieties, can only be an Alvarinho from Spain, from Rias Baixas, from Galicia, from Rias Baixas, from the Val do Salnes, vintage 2024. This is challenging. Smells ripe-ish. Possible pyrazines and oak. There's oak on this wine, and it's herbaceous. Okay. Do the structure of this. Okay. Wine number 5 has plush tannins, moderate plus and plush tannins with pyrazines and new oak on wine number 5, but I'm going to come back to that. This wine 2 is like a semi-aromatic, something or other. This is gonna blow my palate out, as is this. I'm not ready for those yet. I think I can do wine number 5 first. Wine number 5 is a moderate concentration of ruby at the core, with a slightly faded ruby rim, with some secondaries of garnet at the meniscus. Staining is moderate minus. Tearing is medium plus. There's no gas evidence or sediment. On the nose, the wine has a bit of ethyl acetate and barnyard. Fruit on the nose, ripe red plum, fresh red strawberry, and some tart blackberry. There's toast, vanilla, and cinnamon, indicating a moderate intensity of new French oak small format barrels, high intensity of a gravelly minerality, and some forest floor and mushroom, indicating this wine is from the Old World, and a bit of sage and just a touch of fresh green bell pepper, indicating pyrazines. On the palate, the wine is dry. Acidity is moderate plus. Alcohol is high. Body is medium plus. Tannins are moderate plus and plush. Confirming on the palate, wine gets slightly more tart on the palate. Ripe red plum, fresh strawberry, underripe blackberry. There's a bit of violet, iris, sage, just fresh bell pepper, gravelly minerality, vanilla, toast, and cinnamon, confirming a moderate intensity of new French oak, small format barrels, and a bit of barnyard and Sharpie. Wine is in balance. Length is long, complexity is high. Initial conclusion, possible grape varieties are Tempranillo, Merlot, and Zinfandel. I think this wine's coming from a warm climate. Possible countries are Spain, France, and the United States. Age range is, I'm going to say pyrazines are overt in this wine, so possible grape varieties are Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Possible countries are France, United States, and Chile. Age range is 5 to 10 years. Final conclusion, wine number 5 is a Merlot base blend from France, from Bordeaux, from the right bank of Bordeaux, from Pomerol, vintage 2019. Try to do structure here. This is very high acid. All right. Wine number 2 is a moderate concentration of straw with secondaries of green. Tearing is moderate. No gas evidence or sediment. On the nose, the wine is clean, powerful intensity, and youthful. Fruit on the nose, key lime, candied lemon, peach, fresh peach, mango, pineapple, and like fruit cocktail, like white cherry. There's jasmine, lemon blossom, petrol, petrichor, bread dough, indicating lees aging, high intensity of a stony minerality. On the palate, the wine is dry, acidity is high, alcohol is moderate, body is moderate, texture is linear, no phenolic bitterness. Confirming on the palate, key lime, candied lemon. There's fresh green apple, gets slightly more tart on the palate, underripe white peach, underripe mango and pineapple, jasmine, honeysuckle, high intensity of a stony minerality, petrichor, petrol, and bread dough and cheese rind, indicating lees aging. I don't think there's any new oak here, but it has a round texture on the palate, coming, I think, from Lee's aging and large format, neutral French oak barrels. Wine is in balance, length is long, complexity is high. Initial conclusion, possible grape varieties are Riesling, Semillon. I think this wine's coming from a cool climate. Possible countries are Germany, Australia, and Austria. Age range is 3 to 5 years. Final conclusion, wine number 2 is a Riesling from Germany, from the Mosel. This is Grossgewächs, Erziger Versgarten, vintage 2023. My timer went off. Well, let's see where I'm at. 8 minutes left. 9 minutes left. 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay. We'll do that wine last. Gonna check our work. Okay. Pomerol seems good. Ooh. That could be Torrontes texture. I'm going to change my conclusion on wine number 3. Wine number 3 is a Torrontes from Argentina, from Salta, vintage 2024. Alvarinho. All right. Wine number 5 is a deep concentration of purple at the core with a bright magenta rim. Staining is heavy, no gas evidence or sediment. Nose is clean, powerful, and youthful. Fruit on the nose, overripe blackberries, black plum, and blueberry jam. Violets, cracked pepper, cured meat, game, vanilla, chocolate, and mocha, indicating a high intensity of new French oak, small format barrels. No evidence of minerality on the palate. The wine is dry with a ripe attack. Acidity is moderate plus. Acidity is moderate. Alcohol is high. Body is full. Medium plus. Ripe tannins. Confirming on the palate. Ripe blackberry, black plum, and blueberry jam. The wine gets maybe even more ripe on the palate, possibly indicating a few grams of residual sugar, but I'll still stick with dry with a ripe attack. Violets, cracked pepper, cured meat, bacon fat, vanilla, chocolate, and mocha, indicating a high intensity of new French oak, small format barrels. Wine is in balance, length is long, complexity is moderate plus. Initial conclusion, possible grape varieties are Shiraz, Malbec'd, and Zinfandel. I think the wine's coming from a warm climate. Possible countries are the United States, Australia, and Argentina. Age range is 3 to 5 years. Final conclusion, wine number 6 is a Syrah from Australia, from South Australia, from the Barossa zone, from the Barossa Valley GI, vintage 2021. Dang it, my freaking clock keeps going off. It's annoying. I got 5 minutes and 47 seconds left. All right, plenty of time. I'll go back to wine number 1 real quick. Yeah, I like Alvarinho. I like Riesling. Torrontes. Pomerol. Shiraz. Wine number 4 is a opaque concentration of a hazy ruby at the core with a slightly faded ruby rim. Staining is heavy. There's no gas evidence or sediment. Nose has ethyl acetate. Fruit on the nose, overripe blackberries, black cherries, black plum. baked strawberry. There's potpourri, sage, roasted red bell pepper, and then vanilla, toast, cinnamon, and chocolate, indicating a high intensity of new French oak, small format barrels, no evidence of minerality, no evidence of earth. On the palate, the wine is dry, acidity is moderate, alcohol is high, body is full, tannins are medium plus and plush, confirming on the palate. Ripe blackberries, black cherries, cassis, black plum, roasted strawberry, roasted red pepper. There's a baked quality in this wine. Violets, potpourri, sage, vanilla, chocolate, and cinnamon, indicating a high intensity of new French oak, small format barrels. No evidence of minerality, no evidence of earth. On the palate, wine is in balance. Length is long, complexity is medium plus. Initial inclusion, possible grape varieties are Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc. I think this wine's coming from a warm climate. Possible countries are the United States and Chile. Age range is 3 to 5 years. Final conclusion, wine number 4 is a Cabernet Sauvignon based blend from the United States, from Washington, from the Columbia Valley, from the Yakima Valley, from Red Mountain AVA, vintage 2020. 2020. Makes sense. Going back, wine 1. Wine 1 is the floral. Wine 2, called Riesling. It was very high acid. There's lees, there's no evidence of oak. Mosel makes sense to add body. Wine 3. Crystal clear, brilliant reflections. Really no minerality here. Slight minerality. Slight struck match on wine number 3 as well, indicating reduction. But okay with that. Just did that. This could be riper than I thought. Plush and velvety. Yeah. Merlot and Shiraz. Yeah. I think that's it for this flight. Possible problems are these two. Well, all the whites. This could be Pinot Grigio. But I'm going to stick with Alvarinho because I think it's floral. Or because it is floral. There's a lot of concentration in wine too, but the acidity comes on really strong. So I think this is a very good vineyard site from a very cool region that's seen some aging on the lees to add body and weight. Why not Malbec'd? Why not? Because there's pyrazines. It's just too polished. Why not Napa? Feels like a really short and hot growing season. I like that. I'm not changing it. And that's Shiraz. All right, that's it.